Many of my clients are finding that the best option right now in the market is to find houses where they can either do an ADU conversion or actually bring on and build a new ADU in the backyard. So as we're evaluating these financing options, there's really not many lenders that can fund these type of transactions, especially the prefabbed ADU units. So a lot of the investors now they're buying smaller multifamily properties with big parcels of land, and they're adding ADU units on that parcel. So they might buy fourplex and eightplex, and some of these cities and counties allow for 3 or 4 units to be put on these parcels, depending on obviously the city, the zoning of the lot, and so forth.
Welcome to the Investor Financing Podcast, where we interview real estate investors and lenders so you can learn all the secrets to getting your projects funded and scale your portfolio. And now, your host, Bo Eckstein.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Investor Financing Podcast, and I'm your host, Bo Eckstein, and today we're going to be talking about how to fund an ADU in California. Many of my clients are finding that the best option right now in the market is to find houses where they can either do an ADU conversion or actually bring on and build a new ADU in the backyard. So as we're evaluating these financing options, there's really not many lenders that can fund these type of transactions, especially the prefabbed ADU units. We have solutions for all this. We're working with some clients right now where we can figure out the funding, and it really comes down to is is it a purchase, is it a refinance, what's the value add component.
You're listening to the Investor Financing Podcast. We'll be right back after this break.
The investors now they're buying smaller multifamily properties with big parcels of land, and they're adding ADU units on that parcel. So they might buy fourplex and eightplex, and some of these cities and counties allow for 3 or 4 units to be put on these parcels, depending on obviously the city, the zoning of the lot, and so forth. So how are you going to fund these? Because these aren't typical transactions. So we have solutions. We have a couple debt funds that will finance these. So really it comes down to, the sponsor themselves. What have they done in a real estate? What's their experience with real estate investing? Credit score obviously plays a key factor on it. But we're looking at what's the as is or the purchase price, or if it's a refinance, is there equity in the deal? And then when we add these 3 or 4 ADU units, when the property is stabilized, what's going to appraise for, what's the stabilized value, right? And then we can typically borrow up to about 65% of that ARV on these type of deals. The tricky part is working the construction draw schedule, because some of these GCs and ADU providers of prefabbed ADUs, they want money up front and things like that. So that's the moving parts that we have to work on these type of transactions. But if you have any questions on selecting the right financing for your unique situation, give me a shout today. You can book a call on my calendar link below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on another episode of the Investor Financing Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Investor Financing Podcast. For show notes and useful resources, please visit investorfinancingpodcast.com. For questions or comments, email info@investorfinancingpodcast.com. If you enjoy our show, please share it with your network. Until next time.